Hello everyone, Dr. Morse here on YouTube. We've got Indiana Banana here from Indiana. And we thought we would film this a little bit just for the fun of it, to show you kind of how these interviews go here. Indiana comes with us with quite a few problems here, and I thought it might be interesting for you to view this. Mr. You want to use your right name?
Sure, David Wood.
David Wood. He's taking the course, going to be a practitioner here, at least working with others. He's starting his own YouTube site, so this guy's really head into this. But we wanted to show you what kidney failure really looks like, and talk about his issues, and his lovely wife here, and the one that gets out and chops wood at 71 years old, clears out a forest, jogs. My God, I'm telling you, I'm amazed at you. You're really, you can, and you would too if it wasn't for those, those things. That
I'd run with her if I could run.
I know. But let's take a look, Chris, at Dave's legs here, and you'll show he's got squamous cell, and
this right here, it is shrinking through fruits and vegetables. By the way, folks.
Yeah.
Stay away from Mohs procedure if you can.
Yeah. And the other leg's the same way there.
This one here started, what the doctor called originally was psoriasis.
Oh.
He missed that one.
Yeah.
But a biopsy showed this to be squamous cell carcinoma. It is shrinking. It was twice that size.
Yeah. It does
shrinking.
well.
Fruits and vegetables, again, works.
Yeah.
It just takes longer time instead of a knife.
And we've looking at the lymph system, they call that venous insufficiency, and we've talked about that before. That this is the problem with medical thinking, is that they blame your blood system for this when this is really the lymph system. And then we were looking at David. We found out he's got a knot up here on his neck. His shoulders are real tight here. He's not moving lymph here. He still has these tonsils, but I'm looking at his eyes. I see hazel eyes. And hazel eyes, we talked about that before, with a brown around the pupil, the chronic bowels. Well, at 15, he's had an appendectomy. So Dave's got a fairly numerous issues related to the kidneys. His creatinine is 1. He's got prostate 3.1, but was 6, so you brought that down good. Mm-hmm. So you start to see he's a diabetic type 2, which that's the adrenal glands. He used to weigh 330 pounds. Look at him now. So he's done well, yeah. But he got with a co-op and started drinking raw Jersey. Raw milk, didn't know any better.
Didn't know any better.
And so, but he's coming off of that. He's got numerous issues, and we're kind of going over his case, and thought you guys might like to see how we go over a case. And we've already been talking for quite some time, but we'll just kind of go over these things. You have quite a history here. You were born dead. And I had to throw
you better explain that.
Yeah. Well, I did. You just didn't want to come to this planet. That was the thing, Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, he had the cord wrapped around him and everything. It's a breech birth, but they saved him. But he's got quite a history here. Cholera. Then he had the Saint
Vitus dance.
Vitus dance, and I've really never heard that. Korea, but then
Korea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I never heard it called that. Appendectomy at 15, mumps at 18, serious Mel problem here at that age, cysts at 19. You got shot himself, it looks like, here at one time. Man, what didn't you do? Diagnosed with diabetes. He has had a lot of kidney stones. Of course, the kidneys were inflamed then. Back in March here, you had 4 stones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something else. And then he's got some neuropathy, of course. He's had laser surgeries. He's had cataracts removed. He has swelling of the esophagus. And, we talked about this, those chronic bowels and that interstitial lymphatic constipation, swelling everything. Mm-hmm. So this is swollen like the prostate. And it just swells. Well, what can you do about that? And this is why you have to get this out of here. You feel it back here with the knots. You're swollen here. You're going to get that out. You've been chronic in the bowels since birth. And you really want to get that out of there, because that's acid just chewing on you.
How come a doctor's never told me that?
I don't know. Well, it's like you said. You said a physician needs to go to school, what, 4 years?
4 years and 1 month.
Study this for go to school and learn the crap, and then go with us for 1 month, and you got it.
And you learn healing.
Yeah. He's had 7 polyps on a colonoscopy, so you know, going back, that your lymph system popping through there. You know, when you see a stalactite, where's it coming from? And obviously that's coming from in the wall.
Would you recommend more colonoscopies? I've only had
No,
one, and I didn't
recommend-
want to go anymore.
No, I don't. I recommend you really getting after your bowels, really getting, that lymph is so key to you. You're in kidney failure. Your legs, that's typical kidney failure here to the point, and this has been a long time, because for you to get squamous cell, you're really chewing on yourself there. And you just got to really get your lymph moving. You know, get your kidneys filtering that. And he's been working this for, what, several months now, and your urine is still clear.
Yeah.
See, that's what I've been talking about. That's why we went up to 2 kidney formulas. That's why I was telling Dave here, we put the astringents in the formulas there. You know, even though the lymphatic formulas are considered your cancer formulas, and you'd think they're astringent, because look at black salve. You were talking about black salve, pulling that right out of there. But
what does that cure? Nothing.
nothing. Doesn't cure it. It definitely gets rid of the immediate problem, but doesn't cure it, because you'll go right back because you're not moving lymph. You know, it's not about venous insufficiency at all. Now it can, when we talked about this earlier, it can impact the blood, where then you get poor blood flow, and then you're having blood problems. And if you look at your blood work, the other thing I said to you before is your blood work concerns me about low platelets. I think you ought to look at your spleen. This many years like that, you got to look at spleen or bone marrow. So we want to build that up in you. You're only 72. You want to get that taken care of.
Just a child.
Yeah. Heck yeah, you got to get out and chop wood with your wife there.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you cleared a forest almost.
Yeah.
Amazing. So he runs, his blood sugars are running about 120 now. He's controlling them. He was on raw milk for a long. He just quit milk about a year ago,
Well, it
right?
was October.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of years to make up for with all that. Where you heard raw milk was good for you. You know, I sold raw milk back in the late 60s, early 70s. And raw milk cheeses was in. Dr. Jensen used to give raw milk cheeses, whole grain products, in his Health Valley Ranch. Well, that wasn't, he wasn't a vitalist. So that was what certain level of people thought. And even that has been very congesting to you. You see that. So most of you have seen our questionnaire here. We have an in-depth questionnaire, and we're kind of going through that. So we'll put you through some of that agony, and I'll show you how we kind of go through this with Dave, and then we'll cut this. Your lady's going to come in and film. Dave's got his own YouTube channel, and he's really heading down the road here, so you might want to hit his YouTube channel.
And I'll be back in April to see you in class.
Oh, that's going to be good. Well, that's 5 days of this. You only need 5 days. 1 year and 5 days.
Yeah.
But you've done good with your test here. And like I said, this is probably the most important area is your protocols. You learn your protocols, because really what it is can you get that person well? Can you take that person from where you are and get them into a healthy state? And that's the key. So it's just learning protocols. You know, the diet is simple. It's not difficult. It's just there's been this tear between the vegetables versus the fruit. And you'll see a big difference when you step up to the fruit.
We snacked on cantaloupe and grapes all the way down.
Good.
From
You're
Indiana.
going to need that, and I would hit that hard. I would even think about a 10 to 20 day grape fast, or working my way, playing with that. I know you're going to enter the cold up there, guys. So this is where the self-discipline's going to take in, because it was cool this morning.
Yeah.
What do you guys have, 40s or 50s in the
Right
morning?
now, this morning it was 60s
Was it really?
in Evansville.
In October it'll get cool.
Yeah, I love October in Indiana. Boy, I love that.
Beautiful.
But it's
Well,
gonna
in
get-
Brown County, where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, I go to Shipshewana a lot.
Do you?
And, oh yeah, well, I've got a lot of Amish friends. I got a lot of Amish healers. Matter of fact, about every year at the class, we have a lot of Amish friends. And one Willie up in Shipshawana's got a big health.
Yeah.
He's a practitioner up there. He's got a lot of guys working for him. Got a lot of good people up there, and they're into raw. You know, we're all getting raw, and a lot of Amish dairy farmers, of course, have converted to other farming, which is good, because we got to stop the dairy farming. What's it for?
I mean, for baby cows.
Yeah, for
But
baby
it's-
calves. And you know, I'd rather see fruit farms and vegetable farming because we got to feed, right? Remember we talked about that overpopulation thing. Did you guys catch the Prophets of Doom the other night on the History Channel? Watch that one. That really scare you. So, but see, you're not. When I shook your hand, you were warm. You don't have a thyroid, so you're going back to blood sugar metabolism problems, type 2. So your weight, you know, is based upon your adrenal glands.
Let me explain that in 2005, when I weighed 330, I was on 12 prescription drugs. You know, I was following the beat of the other drummers.
Wow.
And I have zero right now, zero pharmaceuticals except for what they want to control as glaucoma in the eyes. So I'm on 4 of those, but I want to pull away off of those.
Okay, so let's go to glaucoma for a minute. Now you said, well, what's this knot on the back of his neck? Is this lymph? But then I let you feel his shoulder as hard as a rock, particularly on that right side. It was like a rock there. Well, what's glaucoma? That's pressure, right? But that's not blood pressure. That's lymph pressure. And you can see, and then you made a comment that you had short of breath at times, you know, an endurance thing. That's going back to your adrenals, the neurotransmitters, the things that control the kidneys. You're short in, so you don't have the endurance you would like. But you've already had cataracts, which is cholesterol. So what's this is glaucoma? What's this pressure? That's the lymph system, and that's the worst kind of pressure because it's an acid pressure. You've got to get this out of there, man, because MACD is its brother in a sense, and because acids will just keep chewing you up. So to get rid of that pressure out of your eyes, you don't want to put holes in the eyes. That's like tubes in kids' ears. You don't want holes in your eyes. What do you want to do? You want to move your lymph. You have lymph, and you're a good case to show you how lymph is invading your problems everywhere. From the polyps to the kidney stone to the tumor to the lightheaded dizzy. Remember, that's the cerebellum here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Loss of balance.
Loss of balance. That's cerebellum. You got the pressure in the eye. So, to me, you're a great case for lymph. You should go to medical school, and we'll take you in there and say, here's a great lymphatic case. And you are, man. It's right down the, yes.
And usually his hands are freezing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you're doing much better
see,
than
this is coming along.
You are doing good.
Only my right hand was cold. My left hand's fine.
No. Well, then that might not have been thyroid because, Dave, you're so tight on your right side here in your lymph system, your muscle. I thought I was pushing a rock. Now, that means your lymph is just locked there. But that's anionic. That's what happens in an acid medium. After years, it becomes solid. And then you can get, really hard. So you actually could get numbness in this hand, poor blood flow, not from a blood problem, from a lymph problem, locking down on that nerve or blood flow. And yeah, you really got to move your lymph.
I got a feeling you're going to wrap me up a good program.
I got a feeling I better, right? Coming all the way here from Indiana.
Yeah.